All right, happy Monday. I should have recorded my rant, huh? But that's okay. Um, Happy Monday, everybody. Let's get on to our weekly industry update for the last. This basically was the this basically actually is not 9/29, right? It's 10/6. So this is actually the weekly industry update for the first week of October and the ending of September. Okay, that's what we're going to be looking at. All righty. So, and actually, what this does is it compares 10/1 to 10/4. So it's actually just looking at this first month over month. It's looking at just 10/1 through 10/4, because I want you guys to understand this when you see these numbers being so low here. I want you to understand it's 10/1 through 10/4 and 9/1 through 9/4. Just a month over month comparison, comparing last month, the first 5 days, to this month, the first 5 days. Okay. So for sale properties have gone down 2.5%. However, we're up 22.5% overall for the year over year comparison. So January to October 4th, and January to October 4th of last year. So overall, in Los Angeles County, we're seeing a 22.5% increase in the amount of inventory that's come on the market. Okay. Sold properties for the first 5 days are down 18.1% as compared to the first 5 days of the month last year. However, overall, we're down 0.7% as compared to last year. Now, what I will tell you guys, remember, last week, this number, I believe, was like 0.9%. So it is going down. The margin is getting lesser. So that's a good sign. Pendants are down 28% as compared to last month, first 5 days, and then 0.3% down overall. Okay, so again, 0.7 and 0.3%, not even a full percent down over last year. So that's a good sign, because they said that closings, we at the beginning of the year, the prediction, right, was that we were going to have more closings than we did last year. But as the year has gone on, that prediction has lessened and lessened. Why? Because of all of the economic uncertainty that we've had, all of the government stuff that's been going on, the tariffs and all this kind of stuff that has brought some uncertainty in the market. The interest rates still plague us because they're unfortunately higher than what the buyer's expectations are, right? So all of these things has caused us to have less sales, not more sales. Okay. However, in Los Angeles County, what you're seeing is our less closings is not even 1% less than last year. Okay. It is 0.7% less, and we're in fall. So there is definitely a chance for rebound, especially since we had the reduction in interest rates, and interest rates have been falling, right? So we still got hope. All right. We still got hope. New listings are down 33.6% as compared to last month, first 5 days, and up 11.1%. So we've got more inventory, you guys, in the market. We have got more inventory in Los Angeles County than we did last year. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Inventory is growing, which also means that your skills as a listing agent have to get better, because now you got to communicate with your sellers and learn how to price properties right, because now that is going to become a skill that's going to be needed. Before, you didn't need to know how to price properties. If you put it on the market, it was going to sell, right? It didn't take much skill. Now you got to be skilled, because you've got to be able to advise your clients on how to price their properties right. Okay. The average active price has gone up 0.3% as compared to last month, and 6.7% down over last year. So sellers in Los Angeles County are asking 6.7% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 6.8% more than they did last year. Okay, so sellers in Los Angeles County are still happy. They are getting almost 7% more than they did last year. Okay, now normal amounts of appreciation are anywhere between 4 to 7%. So this is right in that normal amount of appreciation, right? Let's see, we might have a question. What we got? I was watching the news yesterday morning, and they were talking about how sellers are actually letting buyers live in their homes. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's Santiago. Santiago, I'm not sure what seller would allow their buyers to live in their home unless they were doing a rent back. Okay. I didn't see that article, but that to me is crazy. But if they're doing a rent back where I'm paying you rent, right? And that rent normally is held in escrow for whatever duration we've agreed upon in the negotiation in the contract period, then that's the only circumstance I could see them allowing such a thing. Yeah, I can't see them allowing that otherwise.
Yeah,
All
because
right. Oh, go ahead, Santiago.
sorry. Yeah, it's because they were talking to this real estate agent and he was explaining like how sellers are letting buyers like kind of like do like sleepovers in their homes. Kind of like trying out the house to see what it's like or like the feel of it.
Interesting. Doing a sleepover in the home to try it out. Okay. I have never heard of such a thing, but okay. Um, that's interesting. I've never heard of that. And I don't know that I would advise my sellers to do such a thing, but I get it. I get it. We let people take test drives, right? So that basically they're test driving the home. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
no,
Yeah.
I don't see that as a benefit. No, I don't.
There are
Okay.
too many legal implications with that. A lot of
It
red
just
tape.
op yeah, it just opens up doors for other things, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys on that. I'm all for progressiveness. I really am. I'm all for great ideas, but that one is a little too much for me. I don't think that I would ever advise my clients to let a buyer sleep over. If you want the house, you want the house. So, okay, we all agree. High five. All right. All right. And you know what, Santiago, the news is always looking for something, right? They always looking for some cockamamie idea to put on the news so that because that's clickbait and that keeps you watching. So that makes sense that they would bring up something like that. All right. So months of inventory. We are sitting at um a total of 3.7 months of inventory, which is 23.5% higher than it was last year, because last year we were at 3 months of inventory. Month over month, it's a 14.6% increase. Last month, we were at 3.4 months of inventory. Now we're at 3.9 months of inventory. What does this mean? Basically, what we're saying is, you guys remember, the normal market is 4 months of inventory, right? We are sitting at 3.7, which means we are knocking at the door of a normal market in LA County, but we are not there yet. So you are still more than likely in some areas seeing a normal market, and in some areas you are seeing a seller's market. You are still seeing competition. You are still seeing multiple offers. And in some areas, the property is sitting on the market. It just depends. And what does that mean? That means you've got to be hyper local. You got to know the area that your buyers or sellers are in. Okay. You've got to do your research so that you can advise your client appropriately. You can't advise them on the county data. You got to advise them on hyper local data. Okay. All right. Average days on market, 7.7% increase as compared to last month. Last month, we were at 39 days on market, currently 42 days on market. You see that increase, an increase over last year of 23.3%. Last year, we were sitting at 30 days on market, currently 37 days on market. Of course, we're going to have more days on market because we've got more inventory, right? Sold versus original list price, a 3.1% decrease. We were at 97% of list price last month. Currently, we're at 94% of list price. And again, first 5 days of the month. Overall, a 2% decrease. We were at 98% of list price. Currently, we're sitting at 96% of list price. All right, and that's it for LA County. Let's move on to Orange County. Orange County, we are at a 6.4 sale property, 6.9% down this first 5 days of the month as compared to last month. Overall, 26.4% up as compared to last year. So we've got 26.4% more inventory in Orange County than we had last year. As we look at these numbers, last year we had hardly no inventory in Orange County. It was ridiculous. So the fact that we've got 26% more is great because we needed it. Okay. Sold properties are down 8.6% as compared to last month, these first 5 days. However, we're only down 1.3% overall for the year, okay? So that's good. We are still, again, we're under 2%. Not a huge deficit, but definitely not in the right direction, right? We want to see more sales this year, not less. But we are seeing 1.3% less closings than it was last year. Pendants are down 35.5% as compared to last month, first 5 days, and down 0.8% as compared to last year. Okay, so not enough going into escrow as compared to last year. Okay, not as many going into escrow as compared to last year, but still under 1%. So these numbers can come up, can decrease. We can rebound from these numbers, right? As long as they don't stray too far away from the 1% numbers. And we'll see how it goes in the fall. Because we do have inventory, right? We do have some inventory. And we'll look at that when we look at our absorption rates. New listings are down 41.8% as compared to last month, and up 8.4% over last year. So again, we still have, not only do we have existing inventory, more inventory on the market, but we've got new inventory, fresh inventory that's come on the market to the tune of 8.4% as compared to last year. The average active price has gone up 0.4% as compared to last month, only the first 5 days, and down 7.3% as compared to last year. So sellers in Orange County even recognize that there's more action in their area, more inventory in their area, more competition, right? To the tune of 7.3% less. They're asking 7.3% less than they did last month or last year. However, they're still receiving 4.1% more. So they're still receiving a normal amount of appreciation as compared to last year, right? 4.1%. So sellers who said, nope, I'm going to wait to sell, they were right. They're still in the green because they're receiving 4% more than they would have if they sold last year. Okay. All right, months of inventory, no change over last month. Last month, we were sitting at 2.6 months of inventory, and currently 2.6 months of inventory, okay? Now, a 25.3% improvement over last year. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this in Orange County, you guys. 2 months of inventory last year, and now 2.5 months of inventory. So we're still in a seller's market in Orange County, okay? And oh, sorry. I don't know what happened. Let's stop my share real quick. I've got to be able to see my screen. But we are still in a seller's market in Orange County. So we definitely need to keep an eye on that. Some areas you're going to see fierce competition in Orange County. Some areas probably not so fierce, but still properties more than likely are flying. Going pretty fast in Orange County. Okay. Now, days on market sometimes doesn't even reflect as fast. Let's see what's going on. All right, here we go. The average days on market, this is what I'm talking about, 19.4% increase over last month. Last month, we were sitting at 36 days on market, currently 43 days on market. Last year, we're seeing a 33.3% increase over last year. Last year, we were at 24 days on market, currently 32. Don't let this number fool you, you guys. When you're in a seller's market, you need to be making offers quickly. You need to be going out and seeing those properties fast, okay? Because this 32 days on market will make you think you've got 32 days to go see that property, make your offer. You don't, okay? In a seller's market, speed to lead, speed to property is very important. All righty. So make sure that you guys are getting your clients out there, especially in Orange County, because as you know, you are still in a seller's market, which means the sellers have some leverage. Okay. If I were you, I'd be looking at strategies of, well, let me see which properties have been on the market 30 days or longer. Right? Maybe those are the ones that I want to go show my buyer, or those are the ones that I want to highlight to my buyer, because those are the ones that have a little more leverage, right? If they've been on the market for 30 days, the seller might be more eager to pay my compensation, to give my buyers a concession, right? Those types of things. All right, sold versus original list price, no change over last month. Sellers were receiving, 96% of their list price last month, the same this month, all right? And a 2% decrease over last year. Last year, sellers were asking or receiving 98% of their list price. Currently, they're still receiving currently is 2% less, so they're receiving 96% of their list price. What does that mean? That means that out of $100,000, I'm just taking a really general example. Out of $100,000, sellers are receiving $96,000, right? That's 96% of their list price. Last year, they were receiving $98,000, 98% of their list price. That makes sense. I'm gonna assume that it is, okay? So right now, sellers in Orange County, again, they're still happy. They're receiving upper 90s, right? And you guys have the biggest influence over this number because we can help our sellers to price right so that they can receive 100% of their list price, okay? All right, let's move on to Riverside County. Riverside County for sale properties are down 0.2% as compared to last month. Up, however, 5.3% over last year. So still a nice little 5.3% more inventory than last year, which is good, not a lot, but definitely still in the right direction, right? Sold properties are down 7.9% over last year. So 7.9% less closings in the first 5 days of the month. However, also down 3.2% as compared to last year. So a bigger margin, right, than even in LA or Orange County out in Riverside County, which you kind of would expect because you're moving farther out, you bigger travel time, bigger commute time, right? Pendants are down 12% as compared to last month and down 1% over last year. So not a huge deficit on pendants on properties going into escrow, but still not in the positive. So all these trends are all throughout all of our counties, right? We've got more inventory, but we don't have more closings and we don't have more pendants, right? All right, new listings are down 26.1% as compared to last month. However, we're still in the green at 3.4% more than we had last year, okay? Average active price is up 0.9% over last month and down 7.4% as compared to last year. So sellers in Riverside County are asking 7.4% less than they did last year, and they're receiving 1.7% more than they did last year. So they're still receiving more. It's not a lot, but it's still in the positive. And in some areas, they're probably receiving less. And in some areas, they're receiving more, right? So you got to, again, be hyper local so you'll know how to advise your buyers and your sellers, okay? All right, months of inventory, 2.6% improvement over last month. Last month, we were at 3.9 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 4 months of inventory in the five first days of the month, okay? So first 4 days of the month. 4 months of inventory. What does that mean? That means that these first 4 days of the month, we literally are in a normal market. Okay. Now, overall, we are actually not in a normal market. We are knocking on the door, but we're at 3.4 months of inventory. Okay. Which is a 6.3% improvement over last year. Okay. Last year, we were at 3.2 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 3.4 months of inventory. Okay. So we're knocking on the door, moving in the right direction. However, we're still not quite there yet. All right. Average days on market has gone up to 22.4% as compared to last month. Last month, we were sitting at 49 days on market. Currently, we're at 60 days on market. And then overall, a 24.4% improvement over last year. Last year, we're at 41 days on market, and currently we're at 51 days on market. So in Riverside County, sellers are really seeing a longer days on market, right? Which means if you've got a property sitting on the market almost 2 months, right, your seller is probably getting pretty antsy. And so you really have to be communicating with your seller. I would suggest communicating with your sellers on a weekly basis. Even if you don't have anything to report, you are supposed to be communicating with them, right? That way you've got the rapport. You're reporting to them what's recently come on the market, what recently went pending, right? you're reporting all those things to them on a weekly basis. That way, when you come to them and you need that price reduction, you have already been in communication with them. They know you're watching the market. They know you're working on their behalf. And they don't look at you as somebody who's just trying to get their property sold. They look at you as their partner. They look at you as their consultant, right? Somebody who's really in there with them, working this with them. So definitely you want to be in weekly communication with your sellers, especially when you start to get these longer days on market, okay? Sold versus original list price, a 1.1% increase over last month. Last month, we were at 94 days on, or 90, sellers were receiving 94% of their list price, and currently they're receiving 95% of their list price. Overall, a 3.1% decrease. Last year, sellers were receiving 97% of their list price. Currently, they're receiving 94% of their list price. So as you can see here, as they're getting days on market are going up, sellers, it looks like they are making more concessions. They're bringing their house properties down, reducing the asking price, right? Because they want to get it sold. So they're reducing their asking price from what their original was, because they want to get it sold. All right, let's look at San Bernardino County. For sale properties is down 3.1% as compared to last month, okay? And down and up 12.7% as compared to last year. So San Bernardino County is seeing a little more inventory on the market than even in, or as compared to last year, than even Riverside County, okay? Sold properties are down 30.8% as compared to last month, and down only 1.6% as compared to last year. Pendants are down 30.6% as compared to last month, and no change as compared to last year, okay? So hopefully this 1.6 number of closings, we can rebound from that. It's not that much, right? Riverside, unfortunately, is seeing a higher margin of decrease over last year. San Bernardino, 1.6%, not as large. And I expect that Riverside County goes out a little bit farther than San Bernardino County. So the farther you keep going out, right, the more, the less sales you're going to see. Just like when we have a recession, and when we have a market, the housing market starts to decline, we start to see that decline in those outer areas first before it starts to hit your LA County, your inner cities, right? Because your value holds a little bit better, right? It's all, then they say, what do they say? There's a term we use, and it's not area, it's a location. It matters, you guys. Location matters, right? And it definitely matters when you talk about the value of a home. All right, new listings are in San Bernardino County are down 19.3% as compared to last month, only the first 4 days of the month, and up 6.3% as compared to last year, okay? So we're seeing good new listing inventory come on the market in San Bernardino County. Average active price has gone down 1.1% as compared to last month, and down only 0.6% over last year. So sellers in San Bernardino County are asking 0.6% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 3.7% more than they did last year, okay? So although they're asking just a little bit less, they are still receiving a little bit more, which is good, okay? All right, months of inventory, 36.4% more than last month. Last month, we were sitting at 4.9 months of inventory. Currently, 6.7 months of inventory the first 4 days of the month. Overall, it's a 16.5% improvement over last year. Last year, we were at 3.6 months of inventory. Currently, 4.2 months of inventory. So out of all of the other counties, San Bernardino County is in a normal market per the numbers, okay? Because we're sitting at 4.2 months of inventory, okay? So overall, San Bernardino County is looking pretty normal, sitting at 4.2 months of inventory. What does that mean? That means that in San Bernardino County, you are going to see properties stay on the market a little bit longer. And you probably aren't going to see the multiple offer situation. You aren't going to see, more than likely sellers are going to be willing to negotiate a little bit more, right? Because they are sitting in more of a normal market, okay? All right, so average days on market, no change over last month. We're still sitting at 46 days on the market. As compared to last year, a 23.7% increase. Last year, we had 38 days on market, currently 47 days on market, okay? Sold versus original list price, no change over last month. Last month, we were at 97% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 97% of list price. And then a 10.2% decrease over last year. Last year, we were at 98% of list price, currently 88% of list price. Again, there's something in there causing that number. And I'll have to look at that. I actually tried to look at that last night and just, it doesn't show me the back end of the data. And I probably have to go comb San Bernardino County to see where that huge anomaly is. I have to ask my rep, is there any way to see that? But yeah, there's something in there. There's probably a couple of properties that again had a typo and they had to correct it, and then it brought it down, and they're accounting for it in this number, because there's really no way we're taking a 10% hit as of last year. There's no really way we should be taking a 10% hit. So all right, so we are done with our weekly market update. Any questions?
When you say
No?
that we should be talking to our clients regarding what's going on in the market, as a listing agent, how would you recommend saying these things, or how would you give them the update, like with things pending and stuff like that? How would you go about it?
It really depends on where they live, Camila. So if they're in, let's just say Los Angeles County, right? I would look at this information and I would be like, you could record your own video and just take this information, be like, hey, if your property is located in LA County, and you'd like to know, and you'd like an equity analysis on your property, most properties in LA County have actually gone up such and such percent. Well, I wouldn't even say most properties. I would say overall in LA County, we're seeing about and I'm just going to make up a number, I don't remember what it is, a 5% increase over last year. So if you'd like to know your own equity analysis, give me a call, and so that I can share that information with you. And you can even go through it. You can say the average days on market is 46 days on market. The sold versus original list price, sellers are currently receiving 97% of their list price. So you could even go through the stats.
Okay.
For LA County, these are the stats, right, for the day. So if your property is located in LA County and you'd like to know more about your specific property, give me a call. You could do that.
Okay, I meant more also, like if I had a listing and you said like we have to keep a weekly update with them.
Oh,
Would you
yes.
go the
So
same route?
no, if you have a property and you have if you have a listing in a specific neighborhood, then what you're going to do is you're going to be looking at that specific neighborhood, and you're going to be updating your seller on what properties came on the market
Okay.
in the past week, right? Did any other properties go pending in the past week? Did anybody reduce their prices of their property? So now they're competing maybe with yours, or they came under you, whatever the case may be. So that's the thing. You're just going to be updating them on, in their specific neighborhood,
Okay.
what happened in the past week.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
you're going to be updating them on feedback from showings. So if you had showings that week, you're going to be updating them on, this is what the agent said, or this is what the buyer said about your property. And you're going to be giving them the raw feedback, right? Because if a buyer came in, or several buyers came in and they didn't make offers, then what happened? So you got to go and fish and get that feedback from those agents that saw the property, and then feed that back to to your seller. And that's the weekly update, is always updating them on the feedback from the buyers, always updating them on all the statistics. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, of course. All right. So our upcoming events this week, you guys, we got some things going on. So you guys have the industry update. Obviously, you're on it. Thank you so much. And then we've got group coaching with Diana Carbajal today. Diana's going to be coaching today and filling in for me because we have an ALC clinic, Agent Leadership Council clinic for leadership for myself and Franco and all of us. Next we've got tomorrow, Conversations in Real Play at 9 a.m. You guys should be on that. You guys should be coaching. You guys should be role playing. I think there's a couple of you guys that should be on from last week that told me that you were going to be ready. So be ready tomorrow. All right. And be ready to role play. Even if you're not ready, do it anyway. Right? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you guys. It's never going to be comfortable. It's never going to be comfortable until you do it enough times. Okay? That's the way you get comfortable with something, is repetition. So just do it. Don't worry about how you sound, how you look, whatever. You're not even on camera, so don't worry about that. Just do it. Okay? All right. CMA Mastermind is also tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. I feel like today's the 7th, but okay. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. is the CMA Mastermind. You must bring a completed test market analysis. Watch the playback of the video. All right. Dominic did a great class on pricing. Okay. And we are doing a mastermind every single week to talk about how we're implementing it and what issues we have with it. So I really want you guys to take this. Pricing is really important in this market. That's why properties are staying on the market longer, because sellers are going after a price of yesterday and not today. Okay. And we're allowing them to do it because we're letting them drive the car instead of us as the professional driving, because we don't know how to price right. So if you're a new agent, this should be one of the things that is on the top of your list, is knowing how to price a property correctly. Okay. So come, listen, join into the CMA Mastermind. That's tomorrow. And it's on Zoom only. Okay. All right.
And
Then
you
we've
said
got
must bring, what did you say we must bring? I'm sorry.
a completed test market analysis. So you pick a property and you create a CMA, but you're creating the CMA based on his class. And Camilla, you weren't here. You're new, so you weren't here during his class, I don't think.
Yeah, no. Okay.
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 But we do have the class on video, so you could actually watch it. Just reach out to me afterward. If anybody who doesn't have the class and wants to know more, reach out to me afterwards. Okay. You can call me on my cell or text me. Text me on my cell. All right. I'm putting my number in the chat just in case you don't have it. Most of you do. All right. Okay. And then we have Ed is back. He's doing broker hour on Wednesday and on Thursday. Okay. 10 a.m. Again, all my new agents, these are classes that you guys should be attending, right? There's really 5 classes during the week that are really important. That's the weekly market update. That is group coaching. That is scripts and role play on Tuesday morning. That is broker hour with Ed on Wednesday and Thursday, and then your tech class on Wednesday. Those are like your staples, okay? Because you don't know what you don't know as a new agent. So you're really trying to absorb all this information. And I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. But like I was telling Jackie, if you guys were working a job, and your job required you to go to training, you'd be in training all day for like 2 weeks or whatever it took. And you would just do it because that's what was required of you. This is really no different. This is a career, and it's in this career, you can make way more money than you can make in probably 80% of the careers out there or the jobs out there. And you can still have flexibility. However, you got to be disciplined and you got to follow through. So this is really important. Okay. All right. Then on Friday, I have a special treat, especially for my youngsters. Coffee with a Capper is with Joshua Vivanco. Joshua is a top producer. He is in residential and commercial. He does development, investing, but Joshua is a youngster who is out here crushing it. You guys can listen and learn from Joshua. This is your opportunity to pick his brain, to understand what he's doing, what his hustle looks like. Okay. And again, this dude hasn't been in the business that long. So this is an opportunity for you to learn from somebody who is out here just like you, who can tell you exactly what he's doing, how he's doing it. And again, just really, it's a great opportunity because he's like I said, he's a capper. If you aspire to be a capper, then you want to sit with somebody who is a capper and learn from them. Okay. All right. And that's on Friday at 11 a.m. We bring treats. And you guys get to sit and just Q&A. He'll tell you his story, and then you guys get to ask him a bunch of questions. It's a great time. We bring one in every single month. These are people who are top producers that you guys get to sit and learn from. And then, of course, put it on your calendars. Our trunk or treat is on Thursday, October 30th from 4 to 6. If you would like to volunteer your trunk, that means you're going to decorate your trunk in whatever theme you want. And then the kids will come by. We do it upstairs at our parking structure. It's a lot of fun. We do this every year, and we invite all the kids from the community. So definitely, guys, get involved. This is a good time. We have a really good time, and we have a contest, and you get to win first and second prize. I think Diana Carvajal won last year. I think her car won. I can't remember who else, but it was fun. We had a good time. All right, Ignite After Dark. If you want to sign up for Ignite After Dark, sign up, use this QR code. Ignite is our flagship sales, like a new sales training, if you will, new agent sales training. And this one is just being offered by a bunch of coaches across KW. And it's just rinse and repeat. So it keeps going on. It's virtually just keeps going on. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast, listened to it this morning. It was good. This guy, he is a network guru, and he's teaching you how to build networking groups, right? He's got a model on how to build networking groups. And it was really interesting, but basically find a need, fill a need, right? But it's super simple. And it's a really good episode. So listen in, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast, and then our One Thing podcast this week. It is on, I thought I changed this. Well, this week's episode is Even in a Me Culture. Creating Your Village. That's what it is. Creating Your Village. I was going to say, that's not what it is. It's about creating your village. Now, I haven't listened to this one. I will say, though, the One Thing podcast has been extremely good. Jay Papasan is Gary Keller's right-hand man, and is always very insightful, and gives you really good food for thought, okay? And then, of course, the real estate Airbnb program, referral program. So if you guys sign up with the Airbnb as a registered realtor, then if your clients decide to register their properties as an Airbnb, you get to earn referral fees. So that's just easy money, you guys. So just sign up, okay? And it's Airbnb, MREA Notes, NOTES.com/Airbnb, okay? Industry news wise, this one was the one that I looked at. Industry news, you guys. There's so much industry news about this whole Compass Anywhere merger. There's so much noise about all these lawsuits that are going on in real estate. There's so many lawsuits going on right now with Zillow, with what's the other one? With Compass, with there's just, if I should actually screenshot the page. It's just so much. It's noise And we don't need to get caught up in it. Okay. You just don't need to get caught up in it because it's not going to impact you one way or the other. All these lawsuits as they shake out. Things that have to do with the NAR can actually trickle down into our membership fees, right? And into law changes for us, things like that. But a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with the NAR. It's just infighting within our own industry and within brokerages. Okay. So this one I thought was interesting because this one is talking about how how the shutdown may impact mortgage rates. I will tell you the government shutdown impacted the freaking airport with TSA because those lines were out the door. My husband ended up missing his flight this weekend because at the Las Vegas airport, it's normally you just go in and walk up. He's got pre-check. He went in and the line was an hour and a half, like an hour long, he said. And he ended up missing his flight. So it was crazy. And they said it's because of the government shutdown. It's because some workers, weren't there and they just were short. And so everything was out of whack. So it was really weird. But the overall impact of the real estate world, it's expected to be minimal at first because really the government shutdown, the impact is not going to impact us. In the inception, but it depends on how long it goes on. Okay. Because how does it impact us? Like FHA, right? And some of the governmental agencies that our loans go through, like VA, right? So those types of things can impact us. Okay. Because those workers won't be there or they'll be furloughed or whatever. Okay. So those are things that can, at the end of the day, impact us. Mortgage rates, not so much, but what they're talking about is that they could become volatile as credit concerns and lack of economic data, right? Because again, those agencies that produce the economic data are going to be furloughed or they're not working, right? So that's what they're talking about. I pulled this out from the article. The availability of government data could also impact mortgage rates because a key jobs report scheduled to be released on October 3rd will likely be delayed. And it was, because October 3rd is passed, it was delayed. Okay. Along with other reports that the Federal Reserve uses to shape its monetary policy decisions. We're supposed to have our next Fed meeting is scheduled for October 28th and 29th. If they don't have the proper data to use, then they may not make the changes that we expected them to make, which was to cut the Fed rate again. Okay. We were expecting a 0.5 percent Fed cut rate for them to cut the rate 0.5%. If they don't do that, right, because they don't have the data that they need, then it could change things. The interest rates could potentially go up a little bit because of economic uncertainty now. Because so it's just it causes hesitancy in the market when the government has volatility, right? Just like we saw when President Trump decided that he was going to do the tariffs. This is not political, you guys. I don't talk politics in the office. Any of you who know me know that I do not talk politics in the office. Okay. I'm Switzerland in the office. Okay. Catch me with my glass of wine at home and I'm not. But here I'm Switzerland. So the reality is that when he did that, then people got scared. Buyers got scared, right? It just causes uncertainty. Wrong, right, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. It does what it does. And that makes buyers sit on the sideline a little bit more, right? Because they were already like, oh, the interest rates. And now they're like, oh, I don't know how this tariff is going to impact me. Is my grocery bill going to go up? And what's going to happen? Our interest rate is going to go up. The government is shut down. Okay, so what's going to happen with interest rates? Okay, and it causes people to just have fear and feel uncertainty, which they already have anyway, because this is the biggest purchase of their lives, right? It causes sellers to sit in their homes longer because they're like, oh, I don't know how this is going to impact us, especially if they work for the government. That's a whole different situation, right? So just know that we're going to be monitoring this. Read the articles, from trusted sources, read the articles. And I do post some articles on our hub so that you guys can read the articles as well. But we'll be monitoring this, and I'll be bringing this to you weekly about the impact and what's going on. All right. All right. Any questions before we say goodbye? Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions? Everybody good?
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, good. You guys have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Thank you
too.
so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.